let's dive right into something deeply reflective today. In our hyper-connected, constantly buzzing modern world, finding a moment of genuine stillness can feel, well, almost impossible. Our minds are pulled in 1,000 directions before we've even had breakfast. Now, to contrast all that daily chaos, I want you to picture a scene in your mind's eye. Imagine a beautiful, sunlit paradise. The air is entirely still, the light is golden and warm, and sitting quietly in the center of the serene landscape is a seasoned Raj yogi. Right opposite him sits an eager, dedicated student. The yogi is about to pass down a profound yet incredibly concise framework. In today's explainer, we're going to explore the exact teachings from our source material, visualizing that sunlit paradise, and really unpacking the specific toolkit this yogi is imparting to his student.
Okay, let's dive into this. The student in our sunlit paradise might ask the yogi a central question. What are the true signs of spiritual progress? Because think about it. In so many areas of life, progress is easily measured, right? You can look at a bank account balance, check a stopwatch, or look at a test score. But spiritual progress? Man, that is vastly more elusive. And for anyone actively seeking personal growth, that elusive nature can be incredibly frustrating. How do you actually know if you're moving forward? Well, the source text we're exploring today doesn't give us some mystical, abstract answer to this question. It definitely doesn't rely on a vague feeling of peace. Instead, it provides a highly structured, observable set of inner capabilities. It maps out progress as a practical toolkit, achieved through the development of distinct, totally measurable powers.
When the yogi shares this framework, he reveals 8 highly specific capabilities. According to the source material, these 8 specific powers are developed through Raj Yoga. I'm going to read them to you, and as I do, I really want you to let the sheer magnitude of each distinct power just settle in your mind. We have the power to tolerate, the power to face, the power to accommodate, and the power to discriminate. Following those, there is the power to judge correctly, the power to cooperate, the power to withdraw, and finally, the power to pack up unnecessary thoughts. It's a sweeping, majestic list, isn't it? It covers the internal, the external, the active, and the passive parts of our existence. So let's break this incredible framework down into its natural pairings to really understand what the yogi is teaching and how it applies directly to us. We begin with the powers of endurance. The source text explicitly lists the power to tolerate and the power to face right at the outset. Just sit with that exact phrasing for a second. The power to tolerate. The power to face. Our yogi isn't talking about physical strength here or toughing it out through some strenuous workout. He is teaching his student about an immense, unyielding internal fortitude. The text presents these as distinct capabilities developed through the practice of Raj Yoga. They are outward-facing powers, deeply rooted in how one meets the friction of the everyday world. To really understand the difference between the two, think of it this way. The power to tolerate is like maintaining your inner peace and stability when someone is speaking harshly to you. It's the ability to absorb a difficult situation without losing your center. Paired directly with that is the power to face. Now, this isn't just about absorbing. It is the courage to address a difficult truth in your life head-on, without flinching or looking away. It's having that tough conversation or confronting a personal flaw. Together, tolerating and facing create an absolutely unshakable foundation of endurance. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the source text transitions us from endurance into what we can view as harmony. The yogi introduces the power to accommodate, and slightly later in the list, the power to cooperate. Notice how beautifully these concepts flow together in the source, creating a natural sequence of social and spiritual grace. To accommodate requires a softening, a making of space for someone or someone else. It's like the bending of a branch so it doesn't break in a strong wind. When dealing with different personalities or unexpected changes in life, accommodating means adjusting your own boundaries gracefully. But the teaching doesn't stop at mere accommodation. It expands into the power to cooperate. And here is the absolutely crucial insight. True, effective cooperation is practically impossible without first possessing the power to accommodate. You literally have to make space for someone's differences before you can work alongside them. It moves from simply allowing space for others to actively working in unison with them toward a common goal. It perfectly illustrates a progression of spiritual capability, moving from internal endurance to external, harmonious action. Let's move to and see how this builds, because from endurance and harmony, the yogi's teachings guide us inward to the intellect. The yogi teaches the power to discriminate and the power to judge correctly. These two are tightly paired in the source material, sitting right next to each other in the sequence, and they represent the absolute height of mental clarity. The power to discriminate in this context is the profound ability to tell the true from the false, the temporary from the permanent. It is the sophisticated sorting mechanism of the mind. Think of discrimination as the realization that a certain habit or relationship in your life is toxic. You are actively separating the harmful from the helpful. But seeing the truth isn't enough on its own, is it? Once that discrimination has taken place, it is immediately followed by the power to judge correctly. This is deciding exactly how to cut that toxic habit out of your life, or how to set the right boundary. Take a breath and give that some auditory space. The clarity required to not only see the truth through discrimination, but to judge the situation perfectly and decide on the exact right course of action. We now transition to the most inward-facing teachings of the yogi. The text lists the power to withdraw. Just think about the profound simplicity of that single word, withdraw. After teaching the student how to face the world, how to tolerate its friction, how to cooperate within it, and how to judge it, the framework introduces the absolute necessity of pulling back. The power to withdraw is the power of detachment. But, and this is key, we shouldn't confuse this with running away to a cave. In our modern epidemic of constant notifications, endless news feeds, and perpetual overstimulation, the power to withdraw is practically a superpower. It is the conscious ability to pull your energy and attention inward, away from a chaotic environment. It is the ability to step into a quiet, calm mental room even while you're standing on a crowded subway or sitting in a noisy office. It is deliberately returning to that quiet, sunlit space within, entirely on command.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate mental discipline embedded in the source text. The final power listed by the yogi is highly specific and wonderfully evocative: the power to pack up unnecessary thoughts. It's such a striking visual phrase used in the source material. It doesn't just say stop thinking, it says pack up, like a seasoned traveler meticulously folding their belongings and securely closing the suitcase. This power describes an immense, deliberate control over the mind's clutter. To put it in incredibly relatable terms, imagine your brain as a web browser. Throughout the day, every worry, every random idea, every minor stressor opens a new tab. Eventually, if you don't close them, the computer slows down and crashes. The power to pack up unnecessary thoughts is the ability to actively click the X on all those useless tabs. It is the ultimate manifestation of detachment, not just withdrawing from the physical world, but actively and intentionally clearing your internal landscape of anything that does not serve a useful, elevated purpose.
So the crucial point is this. After laying out these extraordinary capabilities, the source text delivers a profound culmination. The yogi tells the student, these powers are considered signs of spiritual progress. This fully answers the central question we posed at the very beginning. Spiritual progress, according to this ancient text, isn't a vague, floating feeling of Zen. The true measure of a person's spiritual growth isn't just how peaceful they feel when sitting alone on a meditation cushion. It's how well they deploy these 8 powers in the friction of daily life. Can you tolerate? Can you face? Can you accommodate? Discriminate? Judge correctly? Cooperate? Withdraw? And pack up unnecessary thoughts when life gets difficult? These powers are the tangible development of your inner world. They are the true observable mile markers on the journey.
We've sat in that sunlit paradise today, and we've heard the teachings of the Raj Yogi exactly as laid out in our source. We've looked at the structure of endurance, harmony, discernment, and detachment. But a framework like this is only as useful as what you take away from it and apply to your own reality. So I leave you with this. Which of these 8 powers will you cultivate on your own spiritual journey today? Will you practice the power to face the difficult truth? Or perhaps deploy the power to pack up unnecessary thoughts before they overwhelm you? The framework is there, the tools are laid out, the rest is entirely up to you. Thank you for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.